Welcome to our channel, all friends. If you are new to my channel, please subscribe my channel and press the bell icon to stay update for new videos. Thanks. Let's start new video. My name is Ali. I used to work in a government office with a decent salary. I was engaged to a beautiful and charming woman, and our marriage was arranged by my parents. I had accepted their decision. My relationship with her family was distant, but she was extremely beautiful, just like her name, and I was no less either. Many girls like me, and before marriage, I had affairs with several of them. She was beautiful, but there was a stark difference in our temperaments, which made it difficult for us to get along. I didn't like her habits or manners. I was a lively young man chasing after modern butterflies, while she came from a religious family. Her family members were all regular in their prayers, her father and brothers wore beards, and the women in her family strictly adhered to the veil. She herself was a devout worshiper and adhered to the veil as well. On the other hand, I wanted her to wear modern clothes and go with me to parks and hotels, but she was unwilling to remove her veil, nor did she have any desire to visit parks or hotels. No doubt she cooked delicious food, was regular in prayer, recited the Quran, and enjoyed reading religious books. Watching TV was something she didn't like at all. In a short time, she had turned my parents into regular prayer goers as well, but she couldn't change me. There were frequent arguments between us, and my parents would scold me, but she never complained. I don't know why, but I found a lot of pleasure in teasing her. I did everything against her wishes because she wasn't modern or bold. I took advantage of her simplicity and decency, and soon I was drawn to other girls. At the office where I worked, Maria transferred there. She wasn't very beautiful, but her heavy makeup and modern, bold clothes enhanced her beauty. Soon, Maria and I became friends. After office hours, we would sometimes watch movies together, go out for walks, or have meals at nice hotels. No one at home knew about my relationship with Maria. My excuse for coming home late was always that I had more work at the office. I was very happy with Maria's company, but our relationship was limited to friendship, and I had no other intentions. One day, while Maria and I were having a meal at a hotel, Hasina's brother, along with his friends, entered the same hotel. He saw me with Maria, and soon the news reached my home, and Hasina's family found out as well. Hasina cried a lot that day, and my family scolded me thoroughly. I explained myself, but no one listened. Eventually, I had to apologize to Hasina in front of everyone and promise that I would have no further relationship with Maria. To keep this promise, I took a month off from the office and applied for a transfer to another city. After a bit of effort and recommendations, I got transferred to Lahore. I moved to Lahore, and my family insisted that Hasina accompany me, so I had to rent a house. Hasina was happy to be with me, and I also took extra care of her. I would take leave from the office and go straight home. I no longer had any relationships with other girls. Hasina was now convinced that I had changed, but it was her mistake. Almost 3 weeks passed, and my routine was the same. I would go to the office in the morning and return in the evening. Hasina spent her days doing household chores and hadn't yet visited anyone in the new neighborhood. However, many girls from the neighborhood came to meet her at our house. Hasina welcomed them warmly, offering them tea and chatting with them. But after a few days, suddenly her cheerfulness and friendliness turned into coldness and tension. She began speaking in a dry, disinterested manner, and the girls would leave feeling disappointed and sad. Now, only God knows what bitterness and venom were hidden in Hasina's discomfort and tension, which made her go back to meet the same girls. However, a bitter experience had made her turn away from all the girls. Maria's intrusion into her married life still haunted her, and I was also guilty of it. Hasina had tearfully told the women in the neighborhood about it and explained to them that this was the reason she lived in constant fear, fearing that another girl would once again infiltrate her home. These girls had assured her that they were not that type of girls. After that, Hasina began advising them to pray, and some of them completely stopped coming to our house. One of these girls was named Sadra. She was good-looking and lived right next door, so she often came to visit Hasina. For some unknown reason, she always shed tears in front of Hasina, sharing her sorrows. She was desperate for love. She would tell Hasina that every moment of her life was colored with the blood of her emotions, and all her desires and wishes were always crushed under the knife of poverty and deprivation. She would say, "When I look back at the past, I see nothing but the dust of unfulfilled desires. I wish I had never been born in this world. What good is such a life, sister? When my sorrows become unbearable, I come to you, and listening to your words brings me peace. Hasina got very angry with Sadra's melodramatic words. She absolutely hated hearing such things in dialogues. Hasina had often told her not to come to her house, scolding her and forcing her to leave. But Sadra was unaffected and would leave for her home, only to return shortly after. She would tell Hasina, "Sister, when I come to you, it feels as if I've stepped out of a terrifying desert and entered a corner of paradise. I even find your scolding and reprimanding very comforting and familiar. I don't love my home, nor the people in it. The environment at my house has made me this way." Despite all this, Hasina did not let her words affect her and only told her to pray and ask Allah for help. Though I had repented and promised myself that no other girl would come into my life except Hasina, when I saw Sadra, I completely forgot all my vows and promises. She was so beautiful that seeing her for the first time shook my faith. However, I still tried to control myself and made sure not to appear in front of her when she was around. One day I had a day off from the office. Hasina had gone to a gathering at someone's house in the neighborhood. I was busy flipping through a book when Sadra came over. "Sister, where is she?" she asked. "She's gone to a gathering in the neighborhood," I replied, purposely staying engrossed in my reading. But Sadra stood there, staring at me. I ignored her, but she kept staring. Finally, I had to speak, saying, "Sadra, now you can go. When Hasina comes back, you can come again." "No, I'm not going anywhere. What kind of rudeness is this?" she said. "This is not rudeness," I replied. "Ali Sahib," looking into my eyes, she said, "I like you. I have come to love you. But I am an honest person, a wife's husband. I cannot do this. Go back to your home and don't come here again." I pretended to be angry and said, "I will come, and I will come every day to my sister's house. Who are you to stop me?" With that, she looked at me with loving eyes and left. I was thrilled that the girl I wanted was now literally falling into my lap. I thought Sadra must not be an innocent girl, because the way she suddenly became interested in me suggested she might not be a good person. She might have friendships with several men. So I pushed those thoughts away and went back to reading. But my mind kept wandering back to Sadra. She was extremely beautiful. Sadra's house was right across from ours, so she must have realized that Hasina had returned. She came right over. "How was the gathering?" she asked. "It was great. The soul found peace and joy," Hasina replied. "Next time, take me with you to the gathering," Hasina said. "When is the next gathering and where?" Sadra asked. "It will be next Thursday evening on the upper floor of the Grand Mosque, which is reserved for women," Hasina answered. Hasina explained clearly, "Okay, I will also go." Sadra replied, and then they started talking about other things, while I avoided eye contact and kept looking at Sadra. She too was smiling at me while secretly glancing at me. Fearing that Hasina might become suspicious, I stood up and went to another room. Once I was in the room, I lit a cigarette and lay down on the bed. The next day, Sadra showed up again. Hasina wasn't home. "Ali, you're not such a masterpiece of beauty that any girl would fall head over heels the moment she sees you. But you're not bad enough to be ignored either. I find your masculine beauty attractive," she said before leaving. I sighed in relief. On Thursday, when I returned home from work, Hasina was getting ready to go to the women's gathering at the Grand Mosque. She was waiting for Sadra to arrive so she could take her along. But when Sadra didn't arrive after quite a while, Hasina left with a neighbor aunt. Hasina was angry at Sadra for not keeping her promise to go with her. But I knew Sadra had deliberately not come. As soon as Hasina left, I locked the outside door to prevent Sadra from coming and lay down to rest. Just as I was relaxing, there was a knock on the door. I ignored it, but when the knocking persisted, I had to get up. I opened the door to find Sadra standing there. Without saying a word, she stepped inside, pushing me aside. "Sadra, for God's sake, stop. Don't destroy my home. I can't give you anything." But she was unyielding. I saw tears in her eyes, and in a trembling voice she said, "Ali Sahib, I am a girl longing for love. I'm very tired of the environment in my home. All I've seen in life are fights, hatred, and regrets. I was looking for a companion whom I could rely on, someone to take me to the land of happiness. In my search, one day I saw you. You were standing on your roof, and I was on mine, and I saw you smoking a cigarette. I liked you from the first sight and decided that I would have you. But you don't even speak to me. You are the first man to come into my life and my heart. Sadra fell silent. I replied with indifference. I sympathize with you, but apart from that, I can give you nothing. Ali, what kind of hardness is this? I love you deeply. Please, for God's sake, leave now, or someone will see you and both of us will be dishonored. I pleaded. Sadra said, don't worry, I won't let you be dishonored. I'm leaving, but remember, I will have you. You don't know how much I love you. You are my life, my love. One day my love will melt you. She said this as she left. I had already been falling for her, and now her words made me even more determined. I had forgotten all the promises and vows I had made with Hasina and began to focus on Sadra. She kept visiting our house, and we would also meet outside to hang out. During all this, I still took care of Hasina in our house, making sure she wouldn't get suspicious. Sadra's beauty drove me crazy. Without her, my life felt dull and incomplete, and Hasina's presence began to feel like a burden. Eventually, Sadra and I reached the point where we decided to get married. Sadra was ready to go anywhere with me, but I was stuck because Sabira, a heavy burden, was blocking my way. Still, I decided. I started efforts to transfer myself from Lahore to Hyderabad. My plan was that once my transfer to Hyderabad was finalized, I would take Sadra with me, divorce Hasina, and marry Sadra. Sadra agreed to this plan, and now we were just waiting for the transfer. During this time, the workload at the office was heavy, so my transfer could only happen after that. I spent all day at the office and came home late at night, which made it difficult to meet and stay in touch with Sadra. It had been almost 15 days since I last saw or spoke to her. One day I saw her praying with Hasina in our home, and I was truly astonished. How had this girl who used to sneak around changed so much? But then I realized she was doing this to gain Hasina's trust and make sure she didn't suspect anything between us. Now Hasina had stopped complaining to me. It seemed as if her heart had cleared of any doubts about me, but that was her mistake. I had become completely infatuated with Sadra. She had promised me, saying, I will mold myself into whatever shape you want, wear whatever clothes you desire, and do whatever you ask me to do. I wanted a wife like her, not like Hasina. One day my transfer to Hyderabad was confirmed. I had 10 days to join my new post. I hadn't told Hasina anything about my transfer. When I informed Sadra, she was overjoyed. I told her that I had booked train tickets for a specific date and instructed her to prepare. She should arrive at the railway station early in the morning. I still clearly remember that day when I was standing at the station waiting for Sadra. Only 10 minutes were left for the train to depart, but Sadra hadn't arrived yet. I had been waiting for a long time. Finally, I saw her from a distance, but she was empty-handed and had no luggage with her. As soon as I saw her, I became anxious. Quickly, the train is ready to leave. We mustn't waste time. Hurry up, Sadra. The train is about to leave, I urged. But she apologized and said, I'm sorry, but I can't keep my promise. I have decided to postpone my plan to go with you indefinitely. From today, our paths are separate. I was shocked. What are you saying? Are you in your right mind? I asked bitterly. Yes, I am in my right mind. I can't rob Hasina's happiness, she replied firmly. What's going on? What happened to you? I burned all my bridges to come with you. I protested, but she replied, Nothing has gone wrong. Go back to your house. Hasina is waiting for you. She's great. I'm the one who's lowly. Sadra continued, Hasina knew everything about you and me. She knew I loved you, and she also knew that you loved me. She even knew about our meetings outside the house. I couldn't stop you, nor could I be an obstacle in your way because you're a man and men are like unstoppable horses. But I won't let you rob my right. While I'm alive, I won't let you belong to someone else. But if you start offering 5 prayers every day and start reciting the Quran, I'll accept you as my co-wife and arrange your marriage to Ali. When I heard what Hasina had said, I stood up and went to her feet. She embraced me and we both started crying. My tears were of happiness and hers were of patience. That day I began offering the 5 daily prayers and reciting the Quran every day. Hasina also brought religious books for me and I began studying them. Along with that, I started dreaming of a better future. For your sake, I changed my entire personality. Initially, I had a lot of difficulty in offering prayers, but I never gave up on prayer and reciting the Quran. Gradually, my internal resistance decreased, and I began finding peace in fulfilling my religious obligations. As I read the translation of the Quran, my perspective began to change. Reading about the punishment for those who defied God's commandments and the consequences of sinful actions made my heart shudder with fear. The idea of sin and its repercussions took away any courage to commit wrongdoings. Stealing a woman's rights seemed like a major sin to me. As I looked at my own character, I realized that I was the most sinful person in the world. I began to feel disgusted with myself. The fear of God's punishment overwhelmed me, and I saw no other way to avoid it but to repent for all my bad actions and follow the teachings of the Quran. That's why I told Sadra, I can't go with you. Go back to your home. Hasina is waiting for you. I'm also going back home because my family has arranged my marriage. Goodbye. With those words, I turned back and left. I felt deep regret for what I had done and returned home, asking for forgiveness from Hasina. I took her with me and we moved to Hyderabad permanently. A pure and virtuous wife is a great blessing from God. Hasina made me accustomed to praying. Now my thoughts have completely changed. Through the recitation of the Quran and prayer, my thinking has shifted completely. Indeed, prayer keeps one away from immorality.